Hello students. So up till now we have discussed a lot of topics in your second chapter, which was functions in Python. Okay. As per your syllabus, this chapter is the second, but as per the Sumita Arora book, this chapter is the third because they have provided the first two chapters as a revision. Okay, they have provided the revision in two chapters. Okay, so the revision which you have done in the first chapter, we have completed that Sumita Arora has done in two chapters. That is why this function chapter is the third chapter in the Sumita Arora book. Okay, so we have discussed most of the topics. Almost 90% topics in your functions chapter is completed by now. Okay, what is left is actually I wanted to discuss some problems on the chapter, some programs on the chapter, and before discussing programs, it is very important that all of you should be able to make the notes of the chapter also, because as you all know, the first chapter was a revision of the class 11 syllabus, and all of you are having class 11 book also with you, so it is very easy for you to go back to your book and study and make the notes also. But since this functions chapter is a new chapter in your syllabus and you are not having any resource for that, you are not having any content, so it will be difficult for you to make the notes just from watching the video, because video is good for understanding purpose, but you will not be able to write much for your theory exams also. So that is why what I'm going to start today is, now I will discuss the chapter from this book also, because this is the book which we will be following in our this year in your class 12th. This is a book, this Sumita Arora book, which is quite better. The name of the book is Sumita Arora, Computer Science with Python, class 12 by Sumita Arora. So this is the book which we are planning to follow from this year. Okay, this PDF is from the previous year book, but because there has not been much change in the functions chapter in this year's syllabus, so we can follow this chapter from the previous year book also. There is no harm in that. Okay, but I will tell you that it is advisable to wait for some time before buying the book, because in markets, even after the markets open, it will take some time for the new book to come, because as I told you before also, at the start of the April month, just about 1 month ago, CBSE had made a lot of changes in the syllabus. Okay, so if the most of the books which are in the market will be as per the previous year syllabus, so it will take some time for the new year books to come. I think maybe in 15-20 days they will come, or maybe next month also. So after that, it will be good if you buy the book, if you can buy the book. But till then, because we are having the PDF of the book and the most of the topics are covered here also, so we can study this chapter from this book PDF also. So this book PDF is quite bulky. It will take some time to upload. That is why I haven't sent it up till now. As soon as the internet speed is good, I will share it on either on Google Classroom or on your WhatsApp group, from which you can study and make the notes. Okay, so what I'm going to do this is, see, basically all the major topics we have covered. Okay, so except for one or two topics are left here, one or two or three topics are left in this chapter. Most of the things we have covered in the as a part of the presentation in the videos. What we are going to do is, I will again go through the book content, the chapter content which is given in the book, so that once I go through this content, it will be much easier for you to understand. You can correlate with the video also. Okay, because we have discussed everything in the video, but still it will take some time for you to understand the chapter, because in the books chapter, the language is slightly different from what I have followed, because I have followed the content which was given on the websites for making the video. Okay, but that language, that literature might be slightly different from the book. Okay, that is why when you are studying the book, it will help you if I go through the book once also. Okay, if I explain the book once in a brisk manner, in a quick manner, then it will be helpful for you to understand. Okay, so in the book, what is there? See, they have again started by giving you an understanding of functions. See, first of all, they have discussed your mathematical functions, and then they have correlated this mathematical function with your programming functions. Okay, like here, what is this? With this fx is equal to x square is a mathematical function. Okay, where what is this? X is again, here it is an argument. See, argument we are using in functions also. We have discussed in functions in computer science. Similarly, arguments are there in mathematics also. Okay, so in mathematics, what is there? Argument is the value which a function is taking for doing this calculation. Like for example, here in fx is equal to 2x square, this x is the argument, because the function itself is based on the value of this argument only. Based on the value of the argument, the function's value will be calculated. Okay, and depending on the value of x, 2x square value will also change. Okay, similarly, what happened in the case of computer programming also, for functions we have some arguments which are the values which we pass into the function, and then the function will act on these values to perform some perform any task or to process the values, and then after the processing is done, the task is accomplished, so it can also return some value to the calling function. Calling function means whoever has called the function, The function can also return its value after finishing its execution. Okay, so now here first of all they have defined the function on the basis of the mathematical function here. Okay, like what are the features of the function programming for languages like which are similar to mathematical functions. First of all, it can also have arguments, values given to it if needed. See, if needed is means what? It is not compulsory for us to pass any value to a function. Like in the case of mathematics, what is there? It was compulsory for us to pass the values. Okay, because if unless until we have an argument in the mathematical function, we will not be able to have any value. But this is not in the case of computer programming functions. Okay, in Python. So Python functions or in any programming language, it is not compulsory to pass any value as argument to the function. If needed, you can pass the value. If not needed, you don't need to pass the value. Okay, you can also have a function which doesn't accept any parameter. It just performs an action on being called. Okay. Secondly, it will perform some certain functionality, some set of statements it will perform, and thirdly, it will return a result. So here again, one example of a function named as calc something is being defined here. Okay, it is a very simple function. That same mathematical function fx equal to 2x square. Here they have converted this function in mathematical function into a Python function. So here, if you want to convert this mathematical function in Python, you will write it like this only. Okay, simple syntax is being followed here. I think all of you can understand this. Okay, def is the keyword, which means that the function definition is starting. Then the identifier following def is the name of the function. Here it is calc something. Then what is the third thing? The variables or identifier which are inside the parentheses are the arguments or parameters. Okay, so here x is the argument of the function calc something. Then there is a colon at the end of def line, meaning it requires a block. Okay, colons are always applied whenever we want to create a block. I've told you before also, colons are in the first chapter we have studied in previous year also, we have seen that colons are required, colons are put before starting any block. Colons indicate that a block is about to start. Okay, the statements indented below the function, that is which is the block below the def line, they define the functionality or the working of the function. This block is also called the body of the function. Here there are two statements in the body of function. There are simple true statements are given here. Okay, but first one is the assignment operator. Using assignment operator, we have assigned the value 2 into x square, 2 into x to the power 2. See, this double asterisk stands for the power operator. Okay, it is used for calculating the power of the number to any base. So here it is x to the power 2, and then it is multiplied to 2 using the multiplication operator, which is the single asterisk. Okay, and here this value has been assigned to r, which means here we have actually written r is equal to 2x square here in this statement. Okay. Then again in the second statement we have returned the value r using the return statement. Okay. Now how this function is being called here, see, actually this is the, see, if you can see this, only these two statements which I have told you, they are a part of the function. Okay, the last two lines of the given in the program are the lines in the main program or the calling program, the program which is calling this calc something function, because functions in Python will be executed only when they are called. Okay, all the whether they are predefined function or whether they are built-in functions, they will be executed only when they are called by some other function. If we don't call any function, then it will not be that function will not be performed. Even if you have defined any function in your program, that function will not be executed unless and until you call that function using some other program. Okay, like here you can see in the last line, print calc, we have written print then calc something a. So here what this print is doing, here this print is calling this function with using print function, we are calling this calc something function. Okay, so what we are doing, when this calc something function is called, then what will happen, this a is the argument which has been sent. A is what? A is the value which is being input in by a user in the first line. Here we return int input, enter a number. So here user will enter a number, and this number which is assigned in a will be sent as argument to this calc something function. Again what will happen, this is received in the parameter, the argument is x here, this x parameter is receiving the argument here. Okay, and then what will happen, this will be the operation will be performed on the value, and then after the operation performed, the r's value will be returned to the calling function. So here what we will print, the value of r which has been returned by the function here. Okay, not the value which was sent. Okay, now how you can call or use a function? To use a function that has been defined earlier, you need to write a function call statement in Python. So using function calls, we will be able to call any function in Python, and then only that function will be used and executed in the program. Unless and until we call any function, that function will not be executed. Okay, the syntax of the function call statement is like this form. First we write the function name, then within parentheses the values to be passed as arguments are specified. Okay, this is very simple syntax for calling any function. Okay, So and this function call could be another inside another function also. Like in the previous example, this print is a function, and within the print function we have called this function which is cal something. So this cal something function, see, function could also be a function could be called, also can be called inside another function also. Okay. Now, for example, if you want to call the function cal something defined above, a function call statement would be like, if you want to call it without the print statement, you can also call it without the print statement. Like you can also write cal something 5. So here what is being sent as a parameter, as an argument, the value 5 has been sent as a parameter. Here we are not sending any variable. Okay, here the 5 is an object. It's a data object which has been sent as the argument to this function. Okay, another function call could be like a is equal to 7, and then we can pass it to this function, and we can also pass a to this function, like we have done in the previous example. Here we have sent the variable which was the object. Here what is the variable? It is actually the reference to the object which is 7 here. Here 7 is the data object, and this a is reference to this data object which has been passed to this function here. Okay, so you have to carefully notice that the some number of values being passed is same as the number of parameters. Okay, now consider one more function definition, which is that the function is the cube of number. This function is calculated the cube of number which is being passed as an argument here. Okay, simple definition is the function here. Here what we have done, we have used the variable res for calculating the cube of the value which is being passed as x. Okay, whatever number we pass as x, whatever number we pass as argument to this function, that argument will be cubed to its third power. We will be calculating the cube of that number, and then that cube's value will be returned by the function here. Okay, so you can see that this argument, this function is taking only one argument. Okay, now again if we call the function similarly you can call the function in other ways also. Like different ways are like cube 4. Now here without using any variable, we are simply passing the 4 as a data object here. Okay, now again passing a variable as argument in function call. Again you can also have some variable. First you can assign any value in any variable, and then again you can pass this variable to the function also. Okay, then taking input and passing the input as argument in function call. Okay, first of all, you can, in the second example we had just assigned any variable value to the variable. What we can do, you can also ask the user to input any value, and then whatever value the user has input into the function, into the program, that value we will assign to the variable, and then this variable has been passed to the function in this case. So this is also a way of calling the function. Okay, first we can input the value from the user, and then we can pass the value to the function also. Then the fourth one is by using function call inside another statement. Okay, you are using a function call inside another statement. Like here print this statement, print is the function inside which we are calling this another function which is the cube function. Okay, so in this case what will happen? First of all, this cube 3 will be first computed. What will happen? First of all, this cube 3 will be executed, cube function will be called, 3 will be sent as a parameter. Whatever value is written by the cube function, that will be printed inside the print function. Okay, now fifth one is by using a function call inside the expression. Okay, by using inside expression, see what is written here. This 2 into cube 6 is an expression which has been assigned to the variable name double of cube. This double of cube is a variable to which we have assigned the expression 2 into cube 6. So inside this expression we have called the function cube here. Okay, as a part of the expression also. Okay, so either whatever is the function calls result, whatever is the result of calling this function cube, that will be multiplied by 2 in this case. Okay, so the syntax of the function call is very similar to that of the declaration, except that the keyword def and colon are missing. Okay, Python function types. Okay, now various function types are given here. Okay, first of all, the broadly there are 3 categories of function types in Python. Built-in functions are there. These are the predefined functions which are always available for use. We have studied many of these functions. Many string functions we have studied, tuple list function we have studied in the previous classes. So all those functions which we studied were built-in functions, which are predefined functions like len, type, int, input, all these different types of built-in functions. Then functions which are defined in modules. Okay, these are the functions which are predefined in particular modules, and they can only be used when the corresponding module is imported. Like I've told you, I've discussed this module portion in one video also. I've discussed how we can define. We have discussed a video. We had uploaded a video in which I discussed about how we can create a global variable in a module. How we can create a global variable in a module, and then we can import that module for using that global variable in a program. If you can remember that was also a part of the video in our function chapter itself. So you can go back to your Google Classroom videos. You can check that video where I have explained to you how you can create a global variable in a module. Okay, similarly we can also have functions defined in different modules, and those functions can be used only when we import these modules in our program by using the import statement. Okay. For example, if you want to use predefined function inside a module like sine function, you need to first import the module math. See, math module is, there are many functions which are predefined also. That, see, we can also create user defined functions in modules also, and there are many modules which are predefined. Predefined means these modules have been built into the Python library. We just have to import these modules in our program, and many built-in functions you can use directly. Like sine function is a built-in function which has been already created in the math library. The math module is having a library of different various predefined mathematical functions, and how we can use these mathematical functions? Just by importing this math library in our program, this math module in our program. Okay, we just have to import the module math in our program. Then what will happen? This definition of sine will be included in our program. Okay, now user defined functions. So these what I want to tell you, that we can also create our own user defined functions in a module, and there are many modules which have already been created as a predefined module also. Okay, so we just have to import those modules. We don't have to create them. Just we can import these modules like the math module, and whatever functions are being included in the modules, we can import. We can use all of these functions just by importing the module by using the import statement. Okay. Now, user defined functions. What are user defined functions? These are defined by the programmer. As programmers, we can create our own functions. We have studied various user defined functions in this program, in this chapter also. In the videos, we have discussed a lot about these things. I am just revising these things with you all in the book also, so that when you study this chapter, you don't find any difficulty in understanding the chapter. Otherwise, some of you might have difficulty in understanding the language and thus the content which has been described here, because the content is quite lengthy in some of the portions, so you may find some difficulty in understanding. So we will continue in the next video with the structure of functions and other topics. Okay, I will like your feedback on this video. How you like, did you understand this video? I will also be sharing this PDF as soon as possible. As soon as the net speed is good, I will share the PDF either in the WhatsApp group or in the Google Classroom. We will share this PDF, and I will advise you to study this video and see if you can understand the content of the chapter which I am discussing. If you can understand it properly, then we can go through at a fast speed, because all these things we have discussed already. Okay, we shouldn't waste much time in this chapter. Okay, so I will like your feedback in the tomorrow's class. Tomorrow again we will have the class at 11 a.m. Okay, I will send the link to all of you. So go through this video. I will try to upload this chapter as soon as possible. Okay, tell me how are you able to understand this chapter or not. Okay, till then, thank you.